You finished video number 1 and the takeaways from that. Hope your three-way calls went well. So we are on to video number 2. This is a really important video, and it's all about your why and your story. And as silly as those two things sound, it's actually the most important part of your business. Let's talk about, well, first of all, both of them are the introduction and some exercises on how to find your why and your story. On your website, in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see dashboard. And there is a button that says Getting Started. If you click in that little button, it's going to give you some insight on how to find your why, and you can even record it. You can record your story. And so I would highly encourage you to venture on over there to your website and log in, dashboard, Getting Started site. So let's talk about your story. Your story, and what I mean by that is, back to video number 1, we don't want you to verbally vomit R&F on people. You need to have a very exercised and practiced story that you can do in your sleep. And this is whenever you meet that taxi driver, or the guy in the elevator, or the girl in the nail salon, or wherever it is, some stranger or some friend, and they say to you, well, what do you do? You need to have something ready to go, and you need to be able to say it with confidence. So this is something that I have practiced, I have written down, I have done this exercise probably 15, 20 times since I've been in this business. So I'm going to give you the framework on how to write your story. All right, so get your paper ready. The first thing is, who are you and your trade? So for me, I would say, well, I'm a teacher by trade. I've taught for 16 years. You might say, I'm actually a dental hygienist by trade. Second thing, why were you looking? So for me, I wasn't looking. Now, I was looking for extra income. I had 2 part-time jobs, but I definitely was not looking for direct sales or a skincare company for sure. How you found R&F. So you all have a different story. Mine is my best friend gave my name to a girl out of Kansas City that I had never met. I was actually quite aggravated at my friend for doing that at the time, but now I owe her exponentially for giving my name out. Number 4, what impressed you the most? Some people might say it's that we are branded with or partnered with the brand Proactive. Some people might say what impressed me the most is the income potential. And I have to say what impressed me the most whenever Maisha and Lance came down to talk to me was the caliber of women that were in this company. These were all successful, smart, driven, inspiring women that didn't necessarily need this, but they did this and they love this. And for me, that was a really important part that impressed me, was the caliber of women. And people, now lots more men. And then number 5, what is it doing for you, or what do you plan on it doing for you? So for me at this point, I can say, and what it's done for me, I've been able to retire from my teaching job after 16 years, and I'm able to be home with my kids, and I'm able to take my 4-year-old to preschool and pick her up, which I never was able to do before. But for you that you're just starting, you're not going to be able to say that yet. So you're going to say what you plan on it doing. So you're going to say, this is going to be my ticket to pay for travel ball and preschool, or this is going to be my way of paying for my whole family to go to Disney next year. Or, you're going to have your why, what you plan on doing with this business. And then the last part, which is the most important part of your story, you're going to say, the best part is ... And this is where you are emotionally going to tie with whoever you're talking to. So the best part is I get to make a living from my home in my yoga pants and be home with my kids. Or you might say the best part is I get to get out of the house and be around other women and grow personally and financially and emotionally. So whatever you truly feel like the best part is of this business, that has to end your story, because people actually purchase and listen based on emotion more than the products. So that's your story, and you can actually find the framework for this in case you missed it. It's in the Team Give handbook. So if you go to Team Give and Files and look at handbook, you're going to see it in there. And if you have any questions about it, you can always message me. The second part of this training is your why. And you need to understand how important your why is. You've got to be totally in tune with why you did this. This is a bold move you've made, and I'm proud of you for that. And It's something some of your friends are not going to understand. And for me personally, even my family didn't understand. They're finally coming around, but it's taken them a couple of years. You've got to be very in tune with why you did it. I knew whenever I was coming out of college that I did not want to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 365 days a year. I saw people do that and I thought, that's not for me. I knew that. So I thought, well, teaching is something I can do. My family did it, my mom, my dad. They were home during the summers and we didn't have to go to daycare. And so I thought, you know what? Well, maybe that's for me because I knew I wanted to be an involved mom, first and foremost. And so for me, my why initially was purely financial. We were financially tight, strained, suffocating whenever this business was presented to me. In fact, I had 2 part-time jobs along with teaching full-time. So my why in the beginning was purely financial. Like, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do something different for our family. And my husband and I decided to do this together. As time went on and I started seeing other people I know retiring from their jobs and being able to be home with their kids, and my kindergartner at the time, I remember vividly one day said to me, "Mom, can you go on the field trip today?" And I said, "No, honey, I have to go to work." "Why do you always have to go to work? Why can you never come up to school like the other moms do?" And it just hit me, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to retire myself from my kids. And my why, I just kept picturing that conversation with Claire. And so whenever someone told me no and someone made me feel bad about what I'm doing, I would start to get my feelings hurt because we all do. And I would stop and think about Claire's face asking me about that field trip or that Valentine's party. And that's what got me through. This is why you've got to be very in tune with why you made this choice, what you foresee happening from this business. And now, since I was able to retire from my job in May, I've realized my why is empowering people, especially women, and I want to retire people left and right. I know what this has done for my family. I'm relaxed. My kids are so much happier because I'm happier. I'm not as stressed out. I've got dinner on the table, and I get to do all of that while working my business on my terms. And I love it. So my why has changed from financial to being home with my kids to empowering women and retiring people. That's my drug of choice. So you need to really think about your why. And whenever you go back to that getting started site, it will walk you through and kind of go through some exercises and to help you understand that. And really, that is the base of this business. You've got to be very in tune with that. And remember that your why should make you cry. If you're saying something like, well, it's just because, I don't want to get another job. Well, that's not going to make you cry. You've got to really think about down deep why you're doing this. And let's see, when you reach out to people, the last thing I'll tell you about this, and you're talking to someone about Rodan and Fields, I would highly encourage you to start with your why, then move into business, and last but not least, products. It almost makes sense for you to start with products first. That seems logical in our minds. But actually, start with emotion. So whenever you're talking to someone and they answer the phone and you say, "Oh my gosh, how's it going?" And you say, "You know what? I got to tell you, I have been working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 for 15 years. And I had an epiphany and realized, you know what? I'm missing out on my kids. And I'm having to say no. And I knew that they deserved better and my family deserved better. So I made a choice to be different. And I've joined this company called Rodan and Fields. And this is how we work our business. And you go on about the business and then you go into the products. But whenever you start off with your why and you make that emotional connection with someone, you're going to be able to probably increase your sales by a lot because they're going to be immediately connected to you. So your call to action for this is to do a little work on your why and your story. Use that framework for your story and then send that to your upline, either in a message or an email. And you guys can work on that and tweak that. And I would highly, highly encourage you to practice this with your spouse or your sister or your mom. The more times it rolls off your tongue, the better you're going to be at presenting it. And right now, guys, you are faking it till you make it. You've got to be confident in what you're doing and own it because nobody wants to talk to a business owner who's not confident in what they've just done. All right, training number 2 is down, guys, and I'll see you on the third training about 3-way calls.